Almost twice as many American pensioners choose this country to live in than the idyllic and hyped island of Malta. That surprised me. Let's see if you can guess it. This country is a Nordic European country that borders Sweden, Russia, Norway, and Estonia, and has a heartwarming claim to fame. It has been rated as the world's happiest country several years in a row, and it's ranked really high in nearly every indicator that you find around, from safety indicators to the best public education in Europe. It's Finland. The nation has approximately 5.5 million inhabitants, 1.2 million of whom reside in its capital city, Helsinki, and its surrounding metropolitan area. There are two official languages, Finnish and Swedish. So, do you want to know more about the incredible reasons thousands of Americans are moving to the land of the Northern Lights? Keep watching, because let's go for the first pro, which was indeed a surprise for me. English is widely spoken. If you really need to learn Finnish to survive in Finland, this could be a deal breaker, because it's one of the most complicated languages in the world. Luckily, English is spoken by around 70% of the population, so you shouldn't have much trouble making yourself understood in Finland. I'll totally strongly advise expats in Finland to at least try to learn it, as a matter of respect for the country. It's a difficult language, that is true, but also a good brain exercise. The Finnish healthcare system is really good. This is a huge pro for anyone relocating to a new country. Their public healthcare has a high quality, especially when you compare it to Canada's dwindling system, and is available to all permanent residents. After 4 months in Finland, you must sign up for national health insurance to use the public Finnish healthcare benefits and medical services. After registering, a Kela card is given. If you opt for private healthcare, it's also available in urban areas for a price way cheaper than in the US. Finland also has an excellent public transport. Due to this excellent public transportation system, only 60% of all Finnish families own a car. You will find that buses and trains are highly efficient. They show up on time, run well in a weather of all types, and are clean and pleasant to travel on. Does that sound better than your local bus service? Because it sounds to me. Most suburbs are well connected to the city center in any major urban area. Finland also has very high safety levels. The homicide rate in Finland is only 1.63 murders per 100,000 residents per year. This is extremely low. It's a safe place even when you consider other types of crimes. For example, let's compare the assault rate of some European capitals versus Helsinki. Stockholm, Sweden, 3,107.3 assaults per 100,000 people per year. Paris in France, 2,694. Berlin in Germany, 2,332. Rome in Italy, 2,020. Helsinki, 615 assaults per 100,000 people per year. In other words, you have 5 times more chance of being assaulted in Stockholm than in Helsinki. The next positive aspect of Finland is, and please don't laugh, because this next factor is really important when you are living in a different country. We are talking about honesty. Finns are famous for their extreme honesty. In a Reader's Digest experiment, reporters purposely lose their wallets in different countries around the world, and Finland won hands down, with 11 out of 12 wallets being handed into local police stations. And then there is the cost of living. Finland's cost of living is 33% lower than the United States average. It's around $1,623 per month, compared to $2,312 in the USA. Of course, I'm talking about equivalent currency because Finland uses the euro. And this means more money to spend on nice-to-have luxuries after all your essentials are taken care of. There is this eternal joke that Swedes travel to Finland to have a drink and party because it's so much cheaper there. Lower cost of living, however, are not really true for Helsinki, which is a relatively expensive city when compared to the rest of the country. And now let's talk about the cons, the bad parts of living in Finland. But before that, I would like to ask a small favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. The first is the climate during the winter. Let's put this into perspective. The southern and warmest parts of Finland have temperatures during the winter similar to Minnesota. Helsinki is a bit warmer than northern parts, but Finland does get pretty cold in the winter months. Even in Helsinki, which is the country's south, the temperature remains below freezing from mid-November until late March. And then we talk about taxes. Finland isn't exactly what you would call a tax haven. You will pay high taxes here to fund the many government services the country offers. A typical middle-class wage pays around 30% of their income to the taxman, compared to approximately 24% in the States. But the country's highest earners can end up paying over 50% of their income on taxes. And that is what they call progressive tax rates. Our editor also told me that I should include the fact that Russia is a direct neighbor as a con of living in Finland. But, since I don't want to get political, I want to ask you, in the comment section, if this is really an issue against living in Finland nowadays. And now let's talk about some costs. And if you live in New York or San Francisco, prepare yourself to get flabbergasted. A one-bedroom apartment in a city far from major centers comes in an average of $755 per month. Pretty reasonable compared to the $1,702 average in the States. Closer to Helsinki, prices go up. Rental prices has sky high, as you would find in some American cities like San Francisco, where it can all be upwards of $3,000 per month for a one-bedroom apartment, are pretty much unheard of in Finland, unless very close to Helsinki's financial center. For one person, the average utility bill, water, electricity, gas, etc., will cost around $120 per month, less than that in summer, more than that in winter. For comparison, the average US utility bill is priced above that even in warm locations. An unlimited internet plan is about a third of the average price in the US, and coffee tends to be priced at about 70 cents lower than the average American coffee. Maybe that explains why Finland is the second most coffee-addicted country in the world, only after the Netherlands. And talking about the Dutch, check this video here where we explain why 75,000 foreigners decided that the Netherlands was a good place to retire. Tip: it has nothing to do with the red light.